Hi everyone, back to the more YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Definitely a rant, this one, and the Premier League are at it again. Apparently they're going to investigate Newcastle United and Nottingham Forest to do with the deal that involved Elliot Anderson going to Nottingham Forest and us signing Odysseas, bear with me, is it Vlachodimos, the goalkeeper. So the whole deal apparently was 35 million quid, I think, was the cost for Elliot Anderson. But within that deal, it seems to be reported, I think, in The Athletic that they think we've paid at least 20 million quid for Odysseas and then 15 million for Elliot Anderson, obviously making the whole deal 35 million quid. Now, the Premier League aren't very happy about this because they feel there's been an overinflated price. Now, before I get into my rant about this, they might have a point, to be brutally honest with you. I mean, Vlachodimos probably is not worth 20 million quid in all fairness to him. He's a second or third choice goalkeeper. Yes, he's played for some big clubs, but he's no fucking Peter Schmeichel in his prime, is he? Let's be brutally honest with you. But this is the situation that the Premier League, with these bullshit FFP and PSR rules, have put teams like Nottingham Forest and Newcastle United, even despite how rich our owners are, they've put us all in this position because if you sit outside of that little clique, the little VIP washroom with the gold-plated keys clique of Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal, Spurs, and probably Chelsea, you are fucked. Royally fucked. And you have to do whatever you can just to survive getting done from FFP. Newcastle United have had to sell two of the most promising youngsters they've had in years. In Elliot Anderson, who was really starting to come onto a game as well. For years we all said, will he do it? He's going to be the Geordie Gerrard, the Geordie Maradona. And he started to really look like he was going to become this player that we all wanted him to be. And bang, we've had to sell him to balance the books. Yankuba Minter, outstanding on loan at Feyenoord. Bang, had to sell him at Barnes and Books. Yes, he hasn't kicked the ball for us, but besides the fucking fact, we've seen the kid score an absolute belter of a goal for Brighton already on his debut. Oh, yes, it was against, an IKEA starting 11 or some shit like that, but it still was a good goal. We're thinking, what could this kid have done for us if we were actually allowed to have kept him and then build the squad just, naturally and ergonomically without these bullshit fucking handcuffs on. But the thing that really, really annoys the shit out of me about this is, okay, let's just say that, Nottingham Forest have inflated the cost, or we've inflated the cost just to get that deal over the line to balance the books. Number one, Newcastle United did not want to sell Elliot Anderson. They shouldn't have had to sell Elliot Anderson, but they've had to sell Elliot Anderson because he fetched a market value, and that deal has been done. Eddie Howe pretty much stopped short of saying he didn't want to sell Elliot Anderson, but he had to balance the books, and Minter as well. But I think Anderson cut more deeper because he invested time in the training pitch when he watched him develop as a player, and I think he was fucked off, was Eddie Howe, that he had to sell him. But the thing that really, really fucks me off about the Premier League is they're so quick to jump on Newcastle United, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Aston Villa, teams like that. Where the fuck are they with Manchester City and their 115 alleged charges of breaching financial fair play? Where are they? We don't even know where there's a court case for that, a court date for that. It's absolute bullshit. I know we've got some City fans who comment on this, and they're good fans as well. I'm not trying to rattle your cages, but it just looks so fucking biased towards City that they don't want to push the button or pull a trigger on any charges for City. Look at Chelsea. I mean, these motherfuckers are selling their own hotel to themselves to balance the books, and they've got more Brazilians in the cast of fucking Geordie Shaw, and they don't stop and look at them under the microscope as quickly as they do the other teams. Leicester's refusal as well. I think they let Leicester off fairly likely. It's utter fucking bollocks. It's so corrupt and so biased and so discriminative against the rest of the teams in the league outside of that greedy clique that how the fuck can they survive? How can these teams survive without having some financial gymnastics going on behind the scenes? And if it involves a deal that's 35 million quid and two players going either way, and you have to do whatever you do to make that deal work, that's what the clubs are trying to do. They keep setting up the other clubs to fail, to be stitched up, to have to sell their best young players to bigger teams or more elite teams in the Premier League. The Premier League is ran by a bunch of rancid corporate shithouses that only care about wealth and PR and fucking, is it Instagrammable and all that bullshit. They would just be more than happy for that league to exist, to feed the faces of the 6 teams that they hold with such, you know, elite kind of stature and covenants that they want them to survive and everyone else just to be there and make up the fucking numbers. You know, the ironic thing is the kickoff to the Super League, I think the Premier League, the people who run the Premier League probably would have welcomed it. They probably would have fucked off to the Super League and become the corporate backbone of that kind of society, that organisation, you know. The Premier League itself is made up of 20 teams, not 6 teams, but every single chance these wankers get, they make the other 14 teams in the Premier League feel undervalued, underappreciated, and like they're just there to make the fucking numbers up. Every other fucker in the top 6 is eating caviar and we're eating pigeon shit. That's the way they make the rest of the teams feel in the Premier League, and I'm sick to the back teeth of it. So you can investigate this deal all you fucking want, Premier League. You know, what'll probably happen is they'll probably smack poor Nottingham Forest with more fucking fines, more points deductions, making it even harder for them to stay in the Premier League. They're probably going to have to cash it on some big players like Morgan Gibbs-White to balance their fucking books even further. That's probably why they did value this kid at 20 million quid, so they didn't have to sell a prize asset like Morgan Gibbs-White. Newcastle United, they're itching to fuck us, they're itching to do us. That's why we had to sell Minter and Anderson, because I heard they were going to do us with a 10-point deduction if we hadn't hit those PSR numbers, and it's absolutely rancid. The sooner this shit is binned off, the better. Now, as I always say in these videos, where's the charges for Manchester City? The Premier League have got shit or get off the pot here. If they don't charge Manchester City, and it's a slap on the wrist, it's open season for all of the teams to say, do you know what, fuck you, do your worst, we're going to go and sign whoever the fuck we want, and if our owners have loads of money to bankroll it, then bollocks to the lot of you. But yeah, I'm sick to death of it. Another story, the Premier League just bending over teams and fucking them dry, and it really annoys the shit out of me. Sorry for the graphic image if you're just having your breakfast, but that's how I feel about it. It's bullshit. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the Premier League looking at this, and again, how biased you think they're being to the other teams, and why they're not getting held to account here. Why can't the other teams all get together and try to put some kind of, you know, I don't know, indictment on the Premier League for this biased, blatant favouritism of the top 6. It's absolutely rancid. I don't know if it's as bad as that in the other leagues, because obviously I don't follow them as close as the Premier League, but it's so obvious, it's so shit, and surely everybody's sick to death of it. But that's my thoughts of that, guys. If this is the kind of thing you like, smash subscribe, like the video, help the channel grow. We'll be back Monday night, hopefully, if I get my broadband sorted. So fingers crossed. Check us out, guys. Keep it evermore. Have a belter. Enjoy the whole game later. Let's hope we get a good result. We'll see you later.